Hi, I wanted to do a quick video on substitution because there's a few things I wanted to share with you about substitution, and it's just easy to do it all in a video than typing it all out to actually demonstrate it. So I'll show you a question on substitution now. I'm going to show you how I would get my students to do it, how I would get them to set it out, which is exactly how they should be setting them out in a GCSE exam. So we are getting them exam ready really, really early on. Substitution is just substituting a number for a letter or a variable. So we've got up here, let's start this one. We have got A is equal to 4p plus 5q, 4p plus 5q. I know that p is worth 3 and q is worth -2. We've got to work out the value of A. So to set this question out, this is how I would want my students to do it. So I would insist they set it out. I'm going to write A equals 4 times 3 because P is 3. Let's just get a bit of highlighter and just show you that. So 3 is that there. I often find using these colours as well is a really good way of helping the students see what's going on. And then we're going to add 5 times -2. Let's just grab a different colour. I'm just using Zoom whiteboard for the first time, actually. I just decided I'd give it a go. -2, -2 is cute. You will see that this question is worth 2 marks. That's quite standard for a GCSE substitution question like this. And that piece of work there, what's happened there, would be enough to get them 1 mark. They haven't done any calculating at all. All they've done is they've shown that they understand that 4p means 4 times p and 5q means 5 times -q, and then we'd add the 2 values. They rarely write it out like that. They'll go straight into doing some kind of calculations. The first thing they might write is 12. This is the safest way to ensure everybody gets a mark on a substitution question. And then we will start to put it together. So we'll start to do it now. So we're going to keep writing underneath what I've got there. So 12, 4 times 3 is 12. I have to do the addition, the multiplication first, sorry, because of the order of operations, which is sometimes called BIDMAS. So that's 12. 5 times -2 is -10. -10. So that's just 12 plus -10. They will need some help with negative numbers. It's very advisable to not start on questions with negative numbers first, to do substitution with positive numbers first, so they can get their heads around the actual idea of substitution. And then once they're confident with that and comfortable with that, then bring in some negative number questions. Otherwise, you're going to give some of them complete cognitive overload. And in fact, the lesson plan that I've created for you, the first activities I've shared with you are ones that are just positive numbers, and then once they're happy with that, you can go on to the next set of activities which has got some negative numbers in it. Anyway, we're going to carry on. 12 plus -10, 12 plus -10 is 2, and you can go and have a look at any of the resources that I have shared with you to help you understand why that is the case. But we will be doing quite a lot on negative numbers in our session 3, so don't panic too much if you're a bit lost on it. So what have I talked about? Yeah, I've talked about getting them confident with substitution, with positive numbers first, making sure they set it out like this. I'm going to talk to you about likely errors, things that they might do wrong. So for example, oh, is there a text tool? Yes, there's a text tool. Let's try this. Oh, that's a bit small, isn't it? Errors. See if I can make that a bit bigger. Oh, yeah. Right, okay. So errors. If they have, for example, something like this, 2a subtract 8, and we're told that a is equal to 3, the first thing they will do is they will do 2, or what I'd love to see them do, of course, is this, 2 times 3 minus 8, to guarantee they get the first mark. Lots of them won't do that. What lots of them will do is they will do this. They'll do 2 times a, which is 6. They might write 2. They might write 2 times a if we're 2 times 3 if we're lucky, but they might not. They might just write 6. But then what they'll do is they will do okay, then I've got 6 and I've got to do 8 take away 6, which is 2. And of course, that's actually not correct at all, because what it should be is it should be 6 subtract 8. Let me just see if I can find out how to move this down like that. So to do it correctly, we'd write 2a minus 8 equals 3. We will do 2 times 3 minus 8. So I've just substituted them in. That's going to get me my first mark there. Then I'm going to actually do the multiplication. 6 take away 8. And if we do that properly, 6 take away 8 is negative 2. All right, so they wouldn't get any marks for this one up here. They wouldn't necessarily get a mark for the 2 times 3 because they've gone and done the second bit correctly. They might do. You don't ever know for sure, but it's much safer if they can just really make sure that they do this bit here first. Sorry, I've not written that very clearly there. Let me just change that. I seem to have written equals 3, and that should have been a equals 3, shouldn't it? Right, okay, now I'm going to show you another error that they might make. And that's when they're squaring. And again, this is down to their negative numbers. Say we need to do a, oh, I keep going to highlighter, a squared. And we know that a equals negative 3. A lot of them, for that, will come up with the answer of negative 9, because they'll just square that and they'll think it's negative 9. But it's actually not, because negative 3 multiplied by negative 3, which is actually what we're doing there. That's what we're doing. We're taking a negative number and multiplying it by itself is a positive number. And again, if that throws you a bit, we are looking at negative numbers. And if you want to, you can go on and get ahead of the game. You can go onto Maths Genie and have a look at some of this work on negative numbers yourself. You can get ahead. It might be that you're perfectly confident with this anyway. So that's one mistake that they would make. And one more, because it wasn't supposed to be a short video. This one, 4a squared, and we'll just keep a as 3. So a is now positive 3. What a lot of them will do is they will do 4, because if they don't write it out like I say, which is what a lot of them, which is why it goes wrong a lot of the time, is they will do 4 times 3, which is 12, and then they'll do 12 squared and get 144. And that is wrong, because what they should have done is they should have applied the order of operations. Write that again, 4a squared when a equals 3. What they'd actually need to do first of all is the squaring. If you are familiar with the order of operations, then you will know that we do any powers first, and then we would do the multiplying. If you're not sure what I'm on about, then you might want to have a quick look at BIDMAS on Maths Genie. That is also coming up a little bit in grade in session 3. But if you want to get ahead again, have a quick look at that. So actually what we need to do here, first of all, is the squaring. And again, if we write it out in full, as I've suggested, this probably won't happen, because what we'd end up writing is 4 times 3 squared. And there we are, straight away is the first mark. And I'm just going to write underneath. I tend to line it up underneath. So that's 4 times 9. So the answer is 36. That's the correct answer. Okay, I think that's all I wanted to say to you. I just thought it was much easier to do a video than trying to write it all down. Substitution is a question where a lot of it is foundation. It doesn't tend to come up on its own as a subject, as a question at higher, but it does appear at higher, but it would be part of a bigger question, embedded in a question, maybe a question on bounds or on solving equations. I have added some into the lesson plan, some higher questions from the resource Save My Exams, which is a brilliant resource. I use it all the time for my exam questions. It just gives you a bit more range. Maths Genie is great. Maths Genie tends to be my first port of call, but if you want a few more, sometimes if you want a bit more challenging ones, then Save My Exams is brilliant, and it has worked examples. I think worked examples even on the free version as well. So not worked examples, sorry, work solutions. Right, I hope that was helpful. I hope you liked the first lesson. And I'm nearly actually finished preparing the second one as well.